to Woodmere State Revival. Chris here. This is another special live edition. I wanted to give you a quick recap of progress made on the clubhouse roof. As we've mentioned in previous episodes, we are turning the old garden shed into a clubhouse for our boys. When we bought the property, the roof, it was kind of this funky, modern-looking design, didn't really fit in with the rest of the dwellings here. And it was also, had a lot of damage to it. There was a lot of rot and a lot of, boring bees and everything else had been in it, woodpeckers. So there was a lot of damage to the structure anyway. So we ended up just ripping it off. I've got some video of that at some point we'll get posted up here. But once we tore that off, we went ahead and reframed the roof to a traditional style roof, put new sheeting on, and I've been in the process of getting the shingles on for the last couple of months. Never dreamed it would take this long, but once we actually closed on the house and started working on it, the clubhouse got pushed to the back burner. We had a lull in some of the work there at the main house. I went ahead and came down here and got this wrapped up. Amber checked in on me in a previous episode there. We chatted a little bit about it, but today I was able to actually come down and finish up the last of the shingling in spite of the rain. It's been about mid-40s and raining pretty steady all morning, but I was able to get down here fairly early, knock out the last row of shingles on both sides, came into the clubhouse, cut all the tabs for going across the ridge there, and just finished getting those nailed up. The only thing I need to do is come back and put sealant on a couple of nail heads. But you've got some temperature constraints with that. Most of them you have to be 50 degrees or above in order to put that stuff down. So I'll come back and do that when we have a warm day, whenever that is, and get the last of the sealant done. So let me show you just a little bit of what we've done over the last several months here at the clubhouse. So as you can see, the framing for the roof is all new. Did a new ridge beam and just used 2x4 rafters. You're not dealing with a whole lot of square footage there. We don't get a lot of heavy snows here, so I figured 2x4s would be more than adequate. And I used structural clips there to hold the ends of the rafters on, and also to tie them into the ridge beam up top there, and use plywood spacers. I used 3/8" plywood. Again, not a lot of square footage, not worrying about a lot of snowfall breaking the roof down, so 3/8 plywood seemed more than adequate to use for the sheeting. The end walls, I've still got to come back in and reframe those. You can see an opening for a window there, and then I've just got some temporary verticals on both sides. And those were just to hold the ridge beam in place to give us our height, and while we were hanging the rafters there. But I'll come back in, knock those out, and actually frame up our end walls. We'll have a window on this side, and the back side here we'll have a door that will lead out to the new treehouse portion of the clubhouse that's going to be attached to the back of the existing clubhouse. So we'll probably come down several feet here and put in a board that runs all the way across here, end joist or a rim joist that'll run all the way around the clubhouse here, and that'll support our decking for the loft. And then we're going to use the existing stairs, but we'll be taking them off this wall, and we'll spin them around and actually, aim them up at the loft. So more on that later, but that's what we'll be doing here in the clubhouse. It's going to give the kids some great play space. Looking forward to getting that done for them. Let's take a quick peek outside here. Again, it's been raining all day. You can see the remnants of the old pond that I tore out when we were tearing the house down. It had gotten full of trash and debris and really looked bad, and so I went ahead and tore it out over here. We're going to get a lot of dirt when we do the excavation for the new carriage house. They're going to tear this slab out in the existing driveway, and then we'll have some dirt that'll come out when they're excavating for the new footers and the new slab for the carriage house. So I'm going to have them take that dirt and bring it over here and use it to recontour this end of the property. I need to pull out the pond liner and pull out the rocks that they use to kind of rim the pond. The rocks I'll stack over against the far side of the creek bank here, and then we'll use whatever fill dirt we get from the excavation to kind of fill in this old pond here in this low place. The original course of the creek kind of came down across right at this stone wall here, and then kind of ran over and then dropped down into the hollow. So my aim is to fill in the old pond. That'll give us a lot more usable yard on this end. And then we'll go ahead and recontour over here to allow this creek to kind of run its natural course again. But let's take a look at progress on the roof here. I'm very happy to have this done. It's been a nasty day. Really the last few days I've worked down here, it's been kind of nasty. But you can see we got shingles. We got our ridge caps. Got a couple of nails on our ridge caps there that I got to come back in and put a little sealant on. Other than that, this side's all wrapped up. And I use drip edge on all sides here. I'm not going to use a gutter, but I wanted to use drip edge. It's important to do that to keep the water running off of the edge of the roof instead of down your side of the building here. You can see how the drip edge works. It's got a little lip at the bottom there, and because of the surface tension of the water, it runs down the edge of the shingles and down the drip edge, and then that little lip just flips it away from the edge of your building there so that it doesn't run down onto the wood. So once we get done here, we'll come back in and paint. I'll go ahead and put some soffit up under there, but then we'll go ahead and paint and get all this sealed up. But in the meantime, drip edge is doing what it's supposed to do. And let's take a run up the ladder here real quick so you can see this side, get a little perspective. Highly recommend, if you're going to be doing some roof work, to get some roof jacks. I tell you, roof jacks and a walkboard make all the difference in the world. So much better than working off a ladder. You know, if it's a fairly low pitch roof, then you may be able to work the edge of the roof without worrying about falling off of it. But roof jacks and a walkboard sure do add some security. But again, up top here, we got our caps cut and nailed in place. Got to come back and put a little sealant on our nails there. But other than that, this side of the roof is done as well. So next on tap today is going to be some work in the crawl space. The crawl space at the current house, the main house, has a lot of debris in there from where the pipes broke and the main floor of the house flooded. And then for some reason, the previous owners of the house left a sewer leak unrepaired and running for who knows how long. So there's a lot of nastiness under the house as well. I'm going to have to get under there, pull out the old vapor barrier and all the debris that's on it, and go ahead and get down to clean dirt again. When we get done with this project, we're going to encapsulate the crawl space. We've got a company that's going to come in and put down a heavy vapor barrier, and it'll actually be sealed up to the edge of the framing, and then we'll actually put a dehumidifier in there to pull the humidity down to a more acceptable level. So that'll keep us from having any insect issues or mold or anything else, because that whole crawl space will be sealed to the house, and that will give us a lot better longevity for all our framing members and everything, instead of being exposed to the moisture underneath the house there. So I'm not sure what to expect. I haven't been under the house. We had some plumbers up the other day to actually tell us where the leak was and give us an idea what it would cost to fix it. For right now, my plan is to get under there, see what's going on. May have to make a Lowe's run to get some supplies, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of cap the pipe off, or at least just patch it up so we don't have sewer gas coming out of there. We don't have water turned on at the house. We're not using the sewer right now anyways, but you know, the sewer gas that's blowing out of that hole is nasty, and I don't want the family exposed to that, and any of the workmen either. They'll be in later on. So I'm going to get under there, try to figure out what I need to do to patch it up or seal it up, and then begin the lovely work of pulling all the crawl space debris and everything out of there and getting that area cleaned up. So we'll touch base with you later on. Amber is going to be running the camera. She'll get some footage of me going underneath the house. I'm sure she's going to enjoy that. I'll be in my Tyvek suit and respirator, and it's guaranteed to be nasty. So we'll be sure to capture some footage of that and share that with you guys later on. In the meantime, have a great day. Hope your construction projects are going well, and take care and have a very Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.